We are live.
Morning.
Hi.
Hello.
What's happening, gals?
Uh, I,
We're all kind of in that state, I think, post the
I feel so
weekend.
dreamy.
Yeah, it has been. I guess the burning question on my mind is, has anyone seen the lights? Or did anyone see the lights?
Not this girl, but I woke myself up so many times to try to see him. I set my alarm at 111, 222, 333, 444 on the course of 3 different nights just to try to catch him. But it's okay. But you know what I did do? I made a post on Facebook being like, hey, will you send me pictures so I can live vicariously through you? And so many of my friends sent dope ones. And I'm just like, I still I'm so sad I didn't get to see it, but I also am like, it's so magical and cool that it happened. And you keep seeing all of these images of angels and dragons and cool cloaked helper beings. And I don't know, it's just was such a magic. And, as much as us believe so much that I think it's so cool that so many people got to be exposed to something different and neat and witness, miracles in their life.
Yeah. It was quite a surprise. I caught wind of it at some point on Friday. And every single time it's been announced for South Jersey, I've tried to go and get to a clear spot, on the parking garages for the casinos. I go to the very top. So I have a clear view of the horizon line. It's like, okay, this is a letdown. This is such a disappointment. So every time since the last time I was like, I'm done with this, I've been skeptical. And then it actually happened. So I was not waking myself up throughout the night to try and see it because I just, didn't want to be tired all weekend.
No, that's the other thing. When you asked how we were feeling, and Jess and I paused, and I was thinking, it's just been very dreamy. I've been sleeping extra. I've needed it, and my body's healing and recalibrating. These solar flares, I want to talk about that today. That shit's real, and we are sensitive beings, and we feel that. And it's there to evolve our consciousness and our emotional healing and so many wonderful things. However, it also can be really painful and tiring and lots of other stuff too.
Yeah. I was suspended between realms all night Friday night. I woke up I think I dreamt of almost every person I've ever met in my entire life.
Whoa. So for those of you who don't know, pause for a sec. Urs is this stellar dreamer. And she gets very vivid dreams and premonitions and interesting things. So I just wanted our viewers to have a little bit of a background on that before you share a little more.
Yeah, thank you. It just and then I woke up Saturday realizing that it was overnight, that everything happened with the lights and the storms, and I spent probably half a Saturday just trying to shake it off because I could not just get present because I was so gone all night. I was definitely not, I was half asleep probably the whole night. So it was just this weird meditation I got thrown into all night. It was just memories and visions and dreams, and I woke up to so many pictures from people that sent me pictures. My sister in South Carolina saw them, a client in South Carolina saw them, and was gracious enough to send me pictures. And I was like, wow, that was incredible. And then I realized, it hit me oh yeah, that's what happened last night. So the dream state and the dreamscape made a lot of sense once I put 2 and 2 together. And then Saturday night, it was cloudy here, so I didn't even bother trying. But, like everything you said, Mandy, it definitely has an effect. And it's still I'm definitely still very, very tired physically. My sleep is still a little bit interrupted. I think last night was the first night I had some solid stretches. But yeah, it's been an interesting weekend for sure.
Yeah. This weekend was, I don't know. It was, I spent time with some children I used to look after on Saturday. So that was really cool. We had a play date. That was awesome. Mother's Day is always a crapshoot whether I'm going to be a wreck or not. And I was all right. But then yesterday I was not. So I thought I had made it, but I didn't. But that's okay. I'm on the upswing. What do you ladies think about the HARC testing, the auroral research program up in Alaska that was testing high frequency radio waves into the atmosphere May 8th through 10th? And so a lot of people think that.
Please educate me. I don't know.
Yeah, didn't know about that.
That the lights were a result of the auroral research testing in Fairbanks, Alaska.
Well,
Oh.
the whole time I'm like, this could be something else.
No, they were lights and everybody saw them, but it was it's experimenting with you know, I'm not going to say it's the same as experimenting with like changing the weather or whatever, but it's kind of along those lines because it's a high frequency auroral research program where they shoot the radio frequencies up there. And so in what word is that? Combination with the storms and such. It's just a question.
Mm,
It's just a
interesting.
question
Jess.
for me because I have no idea, obviously, but I read the I get a lot of my news info from like science journals and stuff, just because I figure it's like doesn't have as much human spin. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. But I am not a conspiracy theorist, but that is actually something that was happening. So, like, the program released a statement saying they would be doing those tests between the 8th and the 10th, and those are the 2 days that, or 3 days that that whole thing happened. So I'm just like, But anywho.
Well, it's interesting because I was just listening to like a whole mini documentary thing this morning about sound weaponry, basically, and that in order to actually, I think if she pops on, one of our homies shared it, so she'll share if she wants, and then I dropped into more of it to do more research. But like, it's something I always like kind of thought was a thing, or I know happens like after bombs and after stuff like that, but they'll send in high frequencies, straight up, just the vibes, the frequencies into like large crowds, or use it as weapons and different things to distort people or make their ears bleed and stuff like that. So it's just really interesting because though it's a, not a fun thing to think about, it's definitely something that's very possible in a reality and something that has been used in our world. And it's just all in a, I don't know, in a similar bag.
I mean, last year they did it. It's the University of Alaska in Fairbanks. Last year they created artificial aurora. So that was visible like up to 300 miles last year. And so their research is continuing. And so obviously they would want further reach or whatever. I don't know what the goal would be or anything, but I just feel like it's possible that it was not exactly what we thought. Not that it wouldn't be powerful and cause us to be affected energetically, because for sure, right? But I don't know.
I think it's fun to...
our bodies are going to be affected by it or whatever it is. But you know how I feel about those EMFs and and RFs and all that, ladies.
Oh yeah.
We got the final cell tower vote this Thursday, and I wasn't going to be able to go because I was debating, do I miss class to go to the vote? And I'm like, we've been working for like 6 months on this whole thing. We finally like found a loophole, they voted whether or not to re-vote last time. Is like, okay. And then so this time we wait another month to vote because we voted to re-vote. You know how the bureaucratic crap goes anyway. So but then at the last minute last night, my teacher rescheduled class because she forgot she's flying to her graduation. I'm like,
boy,
wow.
She's in college for 12 years. You'd think you'd know. But anyway, so out of nowhere, I get to go now. And I don't have to feel guilty about missing class.
Good.
So
yeah, I put it out there and boom.
Look at that.
Yep. Nice. So now class is on my birthday. And I'm like,
oh man.
I'm gonna miss. She said I get a free pass, but I still have to do my homework.
Jessie Mae's birthday's on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm like, I will probably not be there, and if I am, I will be off camera. But we'll see.
Birthday girl, will you share with us a little bit more about your orgone energy pieces and what they are and what they do?
Yeah, sure. I make orgonite. It's a composition of that mermaid tail. I can do so much better than that.
Hey, I don't mind having prototypes.
No.
She's been with me to every job. that I've had since
Don't
you
worry,
gave her to me, and she's an OG. So
just that's just my OCD perfectionistness that I'm trying to get over anyway. So thank you. Hold it up again. Hang on. Let me see. I love it. See, so good. Yeah.
oh
So
yeah,
it's a 50-50 mix of inorganic and organic materials that needs a clear quartz in there. Metal shavings under the pressure of resin causes a reaction which actually blocks EMFs and RFs and electromagnetic frequency, radio frequency. So they're good to put near art devices, cell phones, routers, cell towers, grid
computers.
your prop home, whatever. And I got bored with just the functional ones, so I try to make them pretty and fun shapes. And my goal is to just get them into the hands of the public so that I don't really care why you have it or why you like it. If it's because it's pretty or because you know what it does or you're wearing a pendant, it doesn't matter to me. I just want them in the world because the world. I just read last week that Japan created the very first 6G device. And so watch out, world, that's coming. And there haven't been any studies on what 6G radiation would do to biological. So, I mean, people, animals,
Ugh.
language. But like, there's just no telling what we're just starting to learn what 5G and 4G does to the biological body. I'm talking about plants even, and so to have the 6G rollout is really, I'm not sure. Like, obviously we knew it was coming because that's just the nature of humans, right? I think, but I'm a little bit not sure how I feel about it. I'm almost in denial, but I'm not, because I'm the one that like told a bunch of people and like found it. So I don't know how I feel about it. Not good. But I'm on like a committee thing to stop the Board of Education from building a cell tower on top of the high school in my town. I'm just like, can't even say those words still without getting angry. But over the past 6 months, we've been working really hard and finally forced a revote. So that's Thursday. We'll see.
And you get to be there.
Yeah, I hid organite all in the bushes in the front of the town hall because there's a cell tower on top of that building too.
My girl.
And the first time I went there, I had to miss work the next day because I had such a migraine and I didn't know there was a cell tower on top of the building. And then when I found out, I was like, oh, right. And so the next meeting, I went up there and talked about what it actually did to me. And so I think it helped switch a couple people's vote, quite honestly, because it wasn't just like, here's this article, here's this link to whatever. It's like, no, I was here last time. You remember me because I got up and talked to you last time. And yeah, so it was interesting, but I don't know. I'm hopeful. We've been
I am
working.
too. And I'm just glad that you're fighting the good fight and making dope organ pieces. I was sharing this little itty shell lives in my purse. Every time I get a purse, it moves into it. So, they work. I think they're great. All my dogs have them on. What do they do for animals, Jess?
Same thing. Yep. Animals are just as affected by Wi-Fi and cell phone radiation as we are. Maybe even more so because they can't tell us about it, They can't speak. So yeah. And the orgonite actually and copper wire bent into certain spiral configurations can cause gardens to grow better. And I just joined some groups called electro something or other gardening or something or other. I'm like, oh, and it's like I can do that. I don't know. I'm just like, there's a whole sub community of people out there, that I'm like just kind of like on the fringe of with these things I'm interested in. So I'm like going to experiment with my garden a little bit this season, I think, with with that, like gridding a garden with copper coils and copper wrapped quartz point. I'm gonna get a little like mad scientisty out on the deck. I can feel it. It's coming.
We did that last year. My mom got real into it and put like literally these copper coils on everything. One of my plants up here, I just brought one in for this ivy that I'm bringing back to life, and I put it in there, and it seems pretty happy so far.
Yeah.
Jess, have you ever made an organite rose?
I think I tried with a small mold, but because the petals were so delicate that it didn't work out how I would like. I had not tried it again, but
I was just curious if you experiment. I would love one day.
it has
Or
crossed
any sort of flower, I guess.
it's crossed my whatnots. I tried a lotus.
Your sunflower. Didn't you make a sunflower that was like multicolored? Yeah, that thing was dope.
The molds have to be like, well, they can have detail, but like if you could picture like a rose petals or lotus petals, it's like, I don't know, it's easier. What like the sunflower was perfect because there's no little bits sticking out all over the place. I would have to like look and find a mold that would work, but I could imagine. So yeah. I can put it into any shape. I would just have to find one that like made sense to try.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hi, Sophia.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have Sophia.
I just noticed your comment. I'm so glad you're here. And she said, "Those are beautiful, Jess. They are."
Thank you.
Okay. Well, Sophia, if you would like a reading, please let us know. And if not, that is totally cool too. And I don't know, did anybody message in a reading this week?
Nope.
No? Okay. Cool.
Oh, that's a good idea. I don't know if that's possible. Jess, can you here?
Can I what?
Sophia's suggestion.
Oh, that's two now. I'm not. That is a good idea, but then it wouldn't be one piece. It needs to be like one chunk, I would feel like.
Got you.
I'm wondering if there's some kind of mold out there, like the sunflower one, where it's just like from the top, you can tell that it's a rose. Like, you know how a rose looks from the top of it?
Yeah,
Like
because I have
fully bloomed. That could be cool.
And maybe it would just look like a swirl or something. I'll take a look.
Either way, they're all clearly awesome. And I love them and use them all the time. But I was just thinking, I was like, I don't think I've seen the rose. Oh, Sophia said, yes, please. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
All right.
Well, that'll give me a good segue into just one other thing I wanted to bring up as far as the lights and all the wacky things that happened over the weekend, continuing into the week, is we had the annual meetup of the sun and the planet Uranus yesterday. So that was all building as the weekend was going, and Uranus is related to electricity, lightning, things that are surprising, like extreme surprises. So infusing our, consciousness with that energy was already happening as everything was going on into the weekend. So that's why I chose my Sacred Rebels deck came back out to play today because of the Uranian energy that we're all in. So I just wanted to add that as a really cool, interesting, maybe not coincidence that happened in combination with everything else.
Do you think that could have something to do with why I was sad yesterday? Like, I don't really get like that often. Like, I feel the feelings and I do the whatevers, but it was rough. Cried. Like, I was like, what the frick? And I had an idea of what was going on, but it felt freaking extra, It felt really extra. So could Uranus be doing that? Plus, is Pluto still in retrograde?
Yeah, Pluto's going to be retrograde till September, October.
Oh.
That lasts a really long time. Uranus and sadness. It's more like a eccentric, energetic, higher vibe energy. But we'd have to look at your chart personally, Jess, and see kind of what else was going on relative to everything else, and see.
Yeah.
There's a lot going through Taurus right now too.
I was
So
gonna say, it's always
there's a lot going over your sun, opposing your moon, all that stuff.
I was
Although
gonna
once
ask
a
if
year.
birthday week would have anything to do with it, like a
Yeah, and you're burning off your
for your
last personal year, like you're coming to an end of a energetic cycle, just as far as your annual birthday solar return goes. So a release of something like emotionally related to that, depending on what your chart looked like from last year, could have something to do with it.
Yeah, there was family emotions, family rooted emotions going on. Definitely feel a bit better today.
oh, big love, Sophia.
Oh, interesting. So yeah, one of the surprising things that came out of the weekend for me was family drama. So I can relate to that, Sophia.
Oh, yep, family drama.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So,
Family drama for me too. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
I'm glad you're still here with us too, Sophia. Ugh.
yeah,
You can always block.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Why not? Anyone who's spying on you doesn't deserve immediate access to your stuff, I would say.
All right. Well, the cards kind of maybe speak to a little bit of what's going on, Sophia. From Sacred Rebels, the card "What You Want Wants You" came out, card number 16. So maybe it could just be a little bit of a redirect in your energy and your thoughts. Just remember to catch yourself. Oh, fake accounts. Oh, geez.
Oh my gosh! Like created and then used to.
That takes a lot of energy.
I was gonna say that's a little elaborate. Like,
Yeah.
God.
All right. Well, so maybe just do a little bit of extra thought affirmation power around that and see if it doesn't have any effect. That's awful. I'm sorry to hear that. And then I pulled out Ask Your Guides also, because just tapping into our consciousness and the Uranian energy is also a really good time to just like work with spirit to kind of make sense of what's going on and what's coming in. And the card that came out is Suffering Divine Teachers, card number 23. So sometimes we are at the root of our own all of the above BS. So maybe it could be another message to work with your team around that, extra protection, just call on your team, maybe do a little meditation around it, and remember that you will attracts like. So what you want wants you.
I love that shell up in the top. What's that?
Yeah, the nautilus. It's like a nautilus. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then
Beautiful.
the colors on that other card are really striking.
Yeah.
For me, for some reason right now, like, whoa.
Lots of purple.
Pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pull a crystal card for Sophia since she's here. Whoop, that one just jumped out. Oh. So we got one of, where's my thing? We got one of the element cards this time.
Ooh.
So there's only 4 of these in this whole sucker. So we got water, emotional, healing, intuition, and psychic powers. So psychic powers. Some of the wording. Sorry, I need to look this up because it's not on. I don't know. All right, if someone else wants to go while I do this, I'm sorry. This is like not.
It's actually perfect because I pulled the Healing Waters deck for Sophia.
I got water.
And then you got water.
Perfect.
So, that. So for Sophia.
Okay, yeah.
Into the unknown, underworld depth, courage, facing your fears. Very similar themes here right now. And it's, you are the magician. You are such magic. You're such a light. You're so beautiful, but you're also such a deep diver and a sorceress. And you love to learn and really thoroughly learn and understand things. And this is a time to do it. And the angels are showing you're already weaving it with such love and compassion with others first, and then with yourself more and more. And I think the more compassion and love you have for yourself, the deeper you're going to end up going into this unknown. So just know it's weird, it's scary, it's hard, but lead with love and compassion, and it's going to like bring you into this dark, deep amazingly beautiful place. So it's all happening for you right now, sister. Just to keep on going, because that's you. Like, yay, Earth School, let's go. So yes, very weavy right now, sister. So allow it to weave through love and compassion in your heart. I'm so glad you're here always.
I found it. So water. So I said emotional, psychic powers, healing, and intuition. The water element taps into our emotions and desires, wanting them to flow freely. It relates to love and romance and nurtures our family and friends. Water represents our dreams, intuition, and deep unconscious to be revealed. So that might be you, little fishy there. And since that's not actually a crystal, I'll give you another one. But that could help explain what is going on. Oh, emerald. That's the May birthstone. That's my birthstone. Unconditional love, beauty, recovery, and healing past lives. So, yeah, probably, right? I just get a sense of, yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't have too many emeralds just kicking around personally, but it's a little out of my price range to just have chilling around. But, you know, if you want to meditate on the emerald energy, or if you have any that could be helpful in combination with the water, this feels really flowy. The healing, it says healing on both of them. You know, emotional. You have in the past, recent past, said that the psychic powers, like I would never say that, but like your intuition is unlocking, right? So that could be something to do with why you're feeling things so deeply, or not that you are not a deep feeler, but it could give you a couple more levels to navigate, if you know what I mean. As things unlock, it's like unlocking this way, but also this way. So you might just be swimming down there right now. But I do feel like that's an okay place to be in Taurus season, because it would keep you balanced and grounded, being that it's an earth sign and grounding in its nature to begin with. I just feel like that. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but for me, I kind of take comfort in that. Like, it's okay. It's Taurus season. That's cool that the emerald came out, though, because that's the stone for May.
Mm-hmm.
And I have not gotten that one yet.
One other like really loud message I just keep hearing for Sophia after I kind of finished up was also, I don't know what's up, but I think you're wicked abundant right now with some money magic and manifesting money and setting things up for yourself. And I just kept hearing like, I am wealthy, I'm abundant, I attract money easily for the highest good of all. Like, I just feel like you're getting like blessed with a lot of prosperity in a lot of ways, but also like the money, but also other things. So if you want to put a little extra energy around that this month, go for it, because I definitely was getting a lot of that for you right now too, which that doesn't always come in strong. So make it rain, sister.
I'd say listen to your intuition more than ever.
Yes.
You can trust it.
Well, thank you, Sophia, for showing up. Oh yeah, a lot of ads, girl. I hope you win it all. What's going on astro weather wise this week, Urs? We got a little.
Well, we kicked off with the Sun and Uranus coming together.
Yep. And
that was yesterday. It was exact yesterday, but we were feeling that into the weekend, and we're coming off of it now. And then on the we finally cleared the Mercury retrograde post shadow period yesterday also. So yesterday was kind of a big day as far as moving on with our integration and coming out of the last few days of the muck, I guess you could say.
Was this Mercury the day that it was out, or it was the last day that it was in?
The last day of the post shadow. So it just crossed the degree forward motion again where it started, where the retrograde started. It was 27 degrees of Aries is where it started, and it just crossed back over that yesterday. So that is done. And then tomorrow on the 15th, we have our first quarter square of the moon. So sun in Taurus and moon will be in Leo. And that's our first challenge to whatever intentions we set around the new moon last week on the short-term lunar cycle. And then Mercury also shifts signs for the first time in many months into Taurus tomorrow as well. So as the planets and the personal planets will start shifting into the sign of Taurus, they'll actually hit a square to Pluto first. So because Pluto is still in the early degrees of Aquarius. So as Mercury drops in, as planets keep shifting on, they're going to hit a square to Pluto first. So that's just a challenge with Mercury to our perspective. The deep dive that we had to do throughout March and April, something might surface around that, like a challenge to something, or yeah, right. Mandy, I saw that face. A challenge to the energy or whatever came through, and we're still in that integration phase, like I said. So just be aware around your perspective, any relationships with friends that may have came up or got challenged during that time. We might have another challenge tomorrow. And it's quick because Mercury moves so fast, so that won't last very long, but just to mention it. And then as our planets are moving through the sign of Taurus, they'll be meeting up with the sun. Like I said, Uranus just happened. That just happened with Uranus. So with the sun, with Uranus, and with Jupiter as they continue shifting. So we actually have a really big day on the 18th this week. We have Venus and Uranus coming together, so surprises in our relationships maybe, or something along those lines.
Oh,
Sun and Jupiter annual conjunction also happens on the 18th.
no.
And yes. And Mars and the North Node will come together on the 18th also, which only happens roughly every 2 years. And this will be the last time that will happen in the sign of Aries for a while. So big energy in our path forward, action steps coming out of the muck, like I said, like just taking more forward. We're getting more forward momentum now in coming out of March and April. So, and just like you pointed out, Jess, your Taurus is grounding. So, really putting our focus and our energy onto things that are concrete things that are coming out of like the lessons that we learned over the last couple of months is a really good way to work with it. But there's an expansion of our consciousness involved and all that Uranian energy, like the sacred rebellion, like, going against the norm, going against the grain, like all that energy is kind of underlying as well. And then the underworld parts, the deeper dives that Pluto sort of gifted us as well in the whole journey.
Love it.
Gifted.
Feeling all of that, I think.
Yeah. May's a really dynamic month. The energy is very different than April.
Yeah.
In Sea Goddess Land, we have like fun things coming on the 19th. We're going to like ground some things in. We're going to be participating at the Hippie Witch event, which is going to be super fun. We'll be vending there in Lacey, New Jersey on Sunday. Reach out to us for details and I will try to share about it too. And Ursula is going to be leading a drum circle, a private drum circle. Are we allowed to share about that though?
It's for members only, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we can share.
Cool. And you want to give us details on that?
Yeah, at Sirens. So we're not doing the free public ones this summer. We're going to kind of shift a little bit from those. And this will be, if you remember, at Sirens in Atlantic City or at the marina that's attached to the same property. At 5 p.m. on Sunday, I'll be leading a Surf and Soul drum circle for members at Sirens. So I'm pretty excited about that.
It sounds fun.
Yeah. I mean, we've been kind of in training for the last 3 years anyway. So I'm just happy to see how it goes with the experience that I've gained. And we had a great teacher in Cash for the first couple of years. So I'm just happy to see, let's just pick a beat and let's see what it turns into. So I just love that part of the drum circle. Like it just creates its own thing once you get started. So the owners are really excited. They said they'll be there, and I'm not sure who what members will be there also, but hopefully we have a nice little crowd and we can get a good vibe going for an hour.
It's going to be nice.
I hope so.
Supposed to be. That'll be good.
Yeah. And then just to mention also on this Thursday, it was my last Thursday available at the Sage Lady for navigating your natal chart readings until July. So if anybody wants an in-person reading with me and you're local to the South Jersey area, I will be there from 9:30 to 1 p.m. on Thursday in Mays Landing. Sage Lady shop is inside Zen Landing Wellness Studio. in downtown Mays Landing. So book ahead if you'd like a reading with me on that day, as I will not be back there again until July 18th.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's important. And I looked up the details of the Hippie Window. It's the Hippie Witch Vendor event, and it's Sunday, May 19th from 10 to 5. It's actually in Whiting, New Jersey on 108 Lacey Road. So that'll be super fun. We will definitely be sharing about it. And you can come and get your sprays and your orgone and some sage and a reading with me if you'd like, and all that good stuff too. So we've got, at least in Sea Goddess Land, we got some fun grounded things coming in for Taurus season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the sun shifts into Gemini on the 20th. So we will have that change coming in the next week too.
That feels good.
First, can you give me how do I make friends with Gemini season?
That's a great question. That could be a class.
So it definitely could be. So the tagline I gave the new moon in Gemini, I think it was last year, or there was a Gemini moon that we had, and the tagline I gave it was, "Let your curiosity be your guide." So I think that's one of the best ways to work with it, because it can be very scattered. It can be very just all over the place, like interested in so many things. There is that stereotype that goes with, being two-faced and all that stuff. But it really is just a really cool time to be really inquisitive and to be open to new ideas, new perspectives. Maybe new education things will come in for you, or new ways of creating income or something like that. Because we have Jupiter shifting in on the 25th this month, and Jupiter hasn't changed signs since May of last year. Like roughly once every Jupiter stays in one sign for about a year. So that's a big shift that's coming as well towards the end of this month that will hit a different part of our charts. It'll bring a boost in some way, but with that energy, it's also you have to be very curious about information in general, because there could be like deception involved with that energy for the next year, like with our words, with information in general. That's like the more shadowy side of what's going to happen.
Of deception.
Yeah. So, but it's up to us. We've had a really good training in the last few years of feeling out the truth. How does the information feel in your body? What is your intuition saying? So it gives us a really good chance to kind of dive more deeply into that practice and checking in with our own gut first before, if you're looking at something like, there's so much fake stuff out there now, especially with AI generated images and videos, and it's just wild. So it's a really good idea to get really good at your own practice of discernment.
Yeah, that's the word that popped into my mind as you were talking. I'm glad you said. It's always like, geez, for me, it's like I have to like hang on to the earth, kind of like during Gemini season is the best way I can describe. Like, lay down in the grass and hang on. Last year I was in Maine in that oh my god, yeah, the last couple of years of Gemini season has been freaking really hard for me to personally navigate. There's people in my life with Gemini placements that like, I don't know. It's just, so I have to like separate Gemini season from specific people in my mind, like it's not, I don't know. I get more hung up on the shadow of Gemini because I've been really, really affected by it my entire life. So it's like, I guess that's why I was asking, what can I focus on about Gemini that will help me like make friends with? Because it's not like, I mean, evolved Geminis are fantastic. I could talk I'm on the cusp of Gemini, so who am I kidding? I can talk forever.
Exactly.
So like, so yeah, I just needed a little bit like, so it's again, I guess, about like not letting past experiences dictate my future experiences or whatever.
Yeah. And Sophia said more social. Yeah. Just generally they just love to, be around people and have really cool conversations and thoughts and ideas and bounce around, and just, that, like I said, let your curiosity be your guide is a really cool way to just be in the higher vibration of it all.
And then using the discernment to navigate like the potential whateverness of a Gemini, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't mean to, say anything ill.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and we'll have a really cool full moon
Aw.
right before that happens. So
Yeah.
very interesting month we're in the middle of.
Yeah.
Miraculous May. We'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Be curious, but don't be rude. Yep, Sophia, exactly. And that's the whole dynamic between the axis. Like that's the whole polarity. It's Gemini and Sagittarius are, the opposites. So be curious, but don't be rude. Like have ideas, but don't be dogmatic. Like that's the whole
The truth.
balance of the two. Yeah.
Also tell the
don't
truth.
don't be
Gemini.
self-righteous. Yeah, tell the truth. Exactly.
It's just easier, and as looping back to fake accounts and things like that, it takes so much energy to not work with the truth. I just feel like the truth is where the flow is. Even if it's a hard and it's an obstacle and it's a storm, it's still like where the flow is.
Exactly.
I just pulled these two from the crystal deck. So we got Smoky Quartz.
Ooh, nice.
Which I just found my grandmother's Smoky Quartz chunk ring that like has been missing for at least a year. It was in the pocket of whatever, in the closet or wherever. I just took it off and shoved it in somewhere, and then went looking for something else and was like, oh my God. So it says dispels negative energy, home protection, earth connection, and achieving career success. But then as this one came out, the earth card came out. It's the exact same color.
Nice.
And then the earth, which I have not pulled this one yet at all. Abundance, fertility, harvesting, and logic. Widow acorn. I just thought that was wild because it's exactly the same color. And we were just talking about the earth.
Yeah, and staying grounded.
Yeah,
and physical things and finances, it all relates to the earth element.
I should go get that ring. Hopefully it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It still fits. We'll see. Earth. The earth element is all about the material world, finances, and work. It helps with grounding yourself, being practical, nurturing yourself through good food. It is solid, dependable, reliable, and tenacious. Tenacious, eh?
It's a great word.
Yeah. I like that word.
Mm-hmm.
Tenacity.
Love it.
Well, rock and roll.
Yeah. Oh, do we want to talk about our soul broadcast that's becoming public tomorrow?
Oh, yeah. Suffering.
So our May topic is surrender. So this could be good guidance for everybody at this time also. And Mandy, Jess, and I all contributed to this one. And I love what we wrote and everything that we talked about and our own personal experiences through our own pathway to surrender and kind of what we all went through in the last couple of months also. So there's some really good shares from all of us in there and resources. I provided a lot of resources, some books and things that I do when I'm in a surrender period. And there's music in there and Jess put readings in there. So all kinds of goodies that will become public tomorrow. And we'll be sending that out via email. And also it'll be filtered through our social posts throughout the rest of the month. So just a reminder that every month on the 15th, our soul broadcasts become available to everybody for the first 2 weeks of the month. They're only available to our Soul Garden members exclusively. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow, which I'm pretty excited for.
Yeah. There's a coupon in there for, I think it's 25% off readings with me this time.
Yeah. Yep.
Heads up. And so now I can share that code, right? Because it'll be, okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. So I'll flip the switch on that tomorrow.
Writing the May newsletter was, so tough for me. I don't even know how I did that. I didn't think I was going to be able to. I was so messed up. I guess I surrendered it.
You did.
I did. It was still a little bit late, but not too much. Only by a half an hour.
It was perfect timing. I was just putting it all together when you sent it over, so no worries there.
Slid it on in.
It's a test
Right.
how like we go through the shit that we're talking about and writing about. Like I was like, I'm gonna not do it this month. Oh my god. And then I don't even know. I surrendered it, I guess. And then boop. Wrote the whole thing in like a half an hour and just sent it. I'm like, F it. Boop. And then
you did really well.
great. And I was like
Perfect. I'm on your section now anyway. So yeah, that's we're they're kind of talking about like our backstage process for the whole thing. So
I was a wreck.
we all pick our topic pretty much a month ahead. The 15th of every month. We pick the topic for the next month, but we also flip the switch to make the post public. And then everyone sends in and submits their content. We have a couple deadlines that we work with, a soft and a hard one as a team. And then I go in there and make the blog post and curate it and put the artwork in and do all the proofreading and everything. So
the goo magic.
I love doing it because I get to really dive into everyone's pieces every month too. So I get the intimate preview of everything that everyone's submitting, which is nice and fun and an honor for me in putting it together. So
yeah, this is an interesting month. I shared more about my medical journey, which I haven't in a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt like I was pretty vulnerable in mine as well. Not that I'm not usually, but I was like, oh, it was pretty brutal wherever I was at that day or that week or whatever. I was like, oh my God.
It was a rough retrograde eclipse season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But here we are.
And I had planned to record yesterday my first episode of season 4 for Becoming Chiron, but I needed a day of recharge after the weekend and I just couldn't do it yesterday. So there were things I wanted to share in that, and I just it's coming, but I couldn't get my butt in the chair yesterday.
That's grace, giving
It's
ourselves.
loud.
That's surrender.
Yeah. Because if it's forced, it's not as authentic as it could or should be, I feel like.
Yeah. So it'll come.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like to talk about like the surprising energy that the planet Uranus brings. Like a lot of the stuff that kind of happened over the weekend, it was just like, jaw dropping. Like, oh my God, WTF?
Really?
Oh yeah. So yeah, just other people's OPP.
At least it's not
Other
your
people's poop.
Everybody pooped.
Yep. And sometimes all you can do is just hold the space, but sometimes even that is difficult because some things can just be shocking. Like people can just be really, really rough on each other.
Yeah.
And for all that to happen Mother's Day weekend as well, it just like brought up a lot of selfishness, I guess I can say, that I observed, and just things that really just were baffling to me. So
and then
needing a recharge for myself was necessary after all that.
That gives the opportunity to remember that we can't expect ourselves out of other people because we're way awesomer than most people. But what I mean is, like our compassion or our empathy or what we would do for someone in a situation is not what we should expect out of the general public. And the sooner I realized that, the way less difficult my entire life started to become. Like, you can't hold the general public up to your expectations of yourself. It's just, it will never, ever happen. Ever, 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 ever happen. Mm. That's why it's baffling, because it's like, I would never react in such a way. But here this other person is like wreaking havoc, and it's like without a blink of an eye, it's freaking amazing. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
You're killing me with your comments.
I love it.
Don't gossip for the giggles. Those two look so good together. I call it rotting in bed. my favorite rest of
Sophia's got
activity.
zingers today. I love it.
Jen Papa's ghetto. So
These should be bumper stickers.
yeah.
Yeah, right. I do have a sticker machine. I might Gen Pop is ghetto. That might be going on my car.
I like it.
I'll send you one, Sophia, if I make it.
Oh man, that's hilarious, but it's true. Because I think that if I speak from my own experiences, sometimes becoming really conscious and holding space, like I don't want to fight anymore. I don't want to, it's like I'm not afraid of conflict, but I like to approach conflict peacefully these days. I like to just talk about it. Like all the other shit, I'm like, I don't really resonate or have time for all that right now. And so I definitely have let myself get into situations where I still am too forgiving, I think, where I don't speak my truth always because I'm like, I just rather protect my peace or whatever. So there's definitely opportunities around all of that always, but it's always there for a reason, right?
Yep.
Sophia
And
speaks.
there's speaking stickers. I love it. So great.
Well, cool.
Well, yeah, I think the only one still with us is Sophia. So, yeah.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was going to say that too, like in a different way. Like, not everybody is able to receive it in that way, like,
right.
Without a screaming match or just digs or intentions to harm or hurt the other person. So sometimes there's boundaries that need to be put up around that, and just like, nope, I'm good, I'm done.
Yep.
And yeah, a lot of times over the last several years, I've been saying to many of you, and just to myself, like, I'm glad that I can't understand this, because that means that I'd be in that space where I'd still be in that, mentality, I guess you could say. So I'm glad that it does not compute as what my husband says a lot. Like, it just doesn't. Okay. And then, all right, I'm good.
Yeah. Rising above.
Yeah.
It's true. That shows growth, evolution, all those words. When it's just not even in our realm anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just gets extra challenging sometimes with the family stuff.
Yeah, because, yeah. But the same rules do apply.
Yes. I'm going to pull us a Sacred Rebels card to close out.
Sounds good. I've been
Because,
feeling
all the things we discussed are a form of sacred rebellion and protecting your own energy also. So
yes,
don't engage sacred rebellion. All right. Defend to the end the worthwhile. Card number 23. And look how beautiful it is.
Another 23.
Yeah, another 23. Okay. So that's a 5, y'all. Changes the front a foot. Look at that. Look at the owl on there.
Oh, that's the wisdom and the
I love her.
And synchronicities that I associate with an owl.
And it's okay to have grief over it, even if you're not engaging. I think is a really cool message on this one too.
Yeah, that's kind of what Sunday and Monday. Extreme grief, but not being able to participate in.
Yeah, and sometimes that's the most challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Sophia. So I think this is a nice one for Sophia too, considering Athena and the owl and her name and wisdom and all that. So, and I just love that it's like a headdress with feathers too.
I'm just into her.
She might stay on the altar this week.
There were 2 deer in my yard this morning.
2 what?
Deer?
Huge deer, yeah.
Dope.
And I drew a card like a day or 2 ago out of a deck I never use ever, and it was like Forest Artemis or something, and it had 2 huge deer right on the card, and I'm like, oh, that's you guys, I guess. When I saw them in the yard, I'm like, oh, that's those dudes. So I have some looking into Artemis to do. I don't
Goddess
know.
of the moon. Goddess of the hunt.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now and then I'm drawn to like things that
enjoy archery.
make no sense to me, but then it's like, I look it up and I'm like, makes more than perfect sense, actually.
Never fails, right? Can't make it up.
fails, and it's always
I had 2 groundhogs the other day, like on the side of the road. One when I was going north, and then one was going south again. I was like, let me look that shit up, and it was exactly what I needed to hear. And I've never seen them like that before in my life. Like,
remember we
Mm.
groundhog when you were at my house.
oh yeah, we
You were
did.
across the entire yard, and I was like, oh my
Right.
god, Wiggle Butt came to say hi. I call all groundhogs Wiggle Butts, and our groundhog has 2 baby butts. We saw them. They live under our shed. I saw them for the first time. They're like this. They're just little round
Oh,
balls. It's so adorable. They stay really close to the shed, and the mommy goes around and collects up dandelions and stuff. I won't let Rob mow in certain areas.
I visited and witnessed that. She's got it protected.
Yep. Don't worry, everyone.
I love
pulled
that.
one last card for us too, from Healing Waters, and it's immerse yourself. Training, learning, new hobbies, passions. That's a great way to deal with when you're surrendering and you can't control anything else around you. Great time to dive into something new, to learn, to discover, even if it's just connecting with your body or feeding yourself in a different way or whatever it is. It's a really nice time to immerse yourself into yourself right now. New hobbies, passions, learning, training.
That does make sense.
That's perfect for Gemini season too.
There you go. The curiosity.
Yeah. Do we want to go through the healing process that goes with the defend to the end, the worthwhile card?
Yes, I
It's
do.
It's not very long.
I do.
And as Sophia said, it's baby deer season. The next card in the deck, card number 24, is new birth guarded vigilantly. So just like a cool, and the next page over is the next card. So the healing process for our beautiful owl wisdom warrior is this. Put your hand on your heart and say, I call upon the sacred warriors of unconditional love. I ask for your support, protection, assistance, and intervention on my behalf through unconditional love, that what is truly worthwhile for the light and life of the heart be protected and preserved within me and in the world for the greater good. Through my own free will, so be it. And then you can repeat this up to 3 times if you wish. This can be said once or twice daily during times when you feel that you are fighting to be heard, fighting to salvage your creative ideas from the critical voices of others, or fighting for your right to simply be yourself and live your truth in the world. You can also use it for any other purpose that feels worthwhile to your heart. These declarations have power. Use that power freely and with great joy. I love this deck so much.
I love it. That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So if you're listening now or catching the replay, you can use that practice for the next week or so when it feels like that. It's the Get a Life card.
I laughed so hard.
Oh man, that's great. Sophia, love you.
You got to make a deck, Sophia, or we'll collaborate in the future. That's great. Love it. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in and holding space. And thank you so much, Sophia, for being here live with us, and to everybody catching the replay. Check us out, seagoddesshealingarts.com. We have all kinds of services to support you on your spiritual path. Ursula, our guru, is an incredible astrologist and aromatherapist. Jessie does incredible intuitive readings and creates Organite, and she's also studying and practicing all kinds of other super magical things. And I'm always honored to hold soul space with you, which is basically like life coaching with a spiritual twist to help you on your path at this time. Sometimes past life readings come up, certain insights, and definitely lots of heart chakra healing. Urs, is there anything else that you wanted to mention? Oh, we'll be at Hippie Witch this weekend. If you're part of Sirens in Atlantic City, Ursula will be there Sunday night doing a drum circle. We have Shadow Twerk class coming up. We'd love to see you there. It's going to be great. People are signing up already. It's going to be a 4-month container this time. And then stay tuned because Dragon class dates will be released soon too.
Yeah.
Yep. And last chance for in-person readings with me until July.
Yep.
this Thursday. And be on the lookout for our soul broadcast tomorrow.
Yes, it's coming.
Yep. All the links are in the notes for today too, if anyone's curious about where to go for all that stuff.
Thank you.
So yeah, thank you. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Goodbye.